Crit status active. Orbital status standby.
What is up, Guardians? This is Cosmodrome Radio, broadcasting on all frequencies from here all the way into the haunted vault sectors, because we had another year of those damn things. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Halloween.
This is Cosmodrome Radio, podcast where we talk about all things Destiny 2 and Bungie-related type things. We are a show for Guardians by Guardians. You can follow us on Twitter at Cosmodrome Radio, and you can find this show on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those great places. And if you ever need to find the link, if you can't search, if you don't know how to search things, you can go to cosmodromeradio.com and you'll have the link to every place we're available. So make sure that you follow that if you have trouble finding us. My name is Panda the Paladin. To my left, we have somebody who, I don't know, man. You crack me up going in these law sectors. You be so excited over this Braytech werewolf, and I don't understand why. Toll, how you doing?
Because that auto rifle frame got a buff, and you can get some really good perks on the Braytech now because they changed the perk pool. Right now, my favorite is Under Pressure Kill Clip. Kind of works. I also am a fan of Compulsive Reloader Kill Clip for that synergy.
Compulsive Reloader is such a bad perk, though.
It's a bad perk. Yeah, it's a bad perk.
Compulsive Reloader, it gives you better stability and handling if you only shoot a couple shots and then reload the gun.
I know what it does, but you have to be the fastest, slickest shooter in the West with all headshots with that thing for it to be relevant.
Right. So you're hitting it, you get your kill clip, you reload. Now you get the compulsive reloader buff with kill clip. So those first few bullets coming out with kill clip actually have a better chance of killing shit.
Yeah.
As long as you hit your
how
shots.
Many motherfuckers are you smoking? That the first 5 seconds. How many motherfuckers are you smoking in 10 headshots or 5 headshots, whatever it is? I think it's
right.
I got when I was testing it out earlier today. I didn't get that roll yet, which is sad.
I want to actually look and see what guns can actually have compulsive reloader real quick, because it just, other than maybe an auto rifle or a pulse rifle, I can't think of a gun. So you got Braytech Werewolf, Duty Bound, Peace of Mind, Percy is that's a scout rifle. Why would you want that on a scout rifle? Ugh. Aish is a rapid fire, so that makes sense. Point Inquiry, rapid fire. Cataclysmic can get it. What the fuck? Come to Pass is auto rifle. Deliverance can get it. Nazarek's Whisper can get it. What the fuck? It's mostly pulse rifles and auto rifles.
Get that.
Apparently Beloved can get it too, and Thoughtless. So sniper rifles can get it, which is even weirder. It's just mostly it looks like it's good for pulse rifles and auto rifles, and then Austringer is the only hand cannon that can get it. So that's kind of weird.
But the roll idea, I haven't gotten it yet. A friend of mine got it, but I was testing it out with Kill Clip Under Pressure, and it wasn't doing too bad in Crucible.
Honestly, the best roll that I think you could get with the new Braytech Werewolf is Dynamic Sway and Kill Clip. Either Dynamic Sway, Kill Clip, or what I actually got earlier was Pugilist Kill Clip, especially if you're a Titan, because Pugilist, if you hit somebody and then kill them with the gun, reload and get Kill Clip, that's what, freaking 23, that's like a boost from the Pugilist or from the handling, and you have increased damage from the Kill Clip. You could do some dirty stuff with that. But anyway, enough of the perk nonsense. To my left, we have our special guest of the evening, the nice fellow who's been doing some really nice clips of the podcast for us. If you look on me and Toll's TikToks, you see the different clips that he's been going through and doing for the show. And he's just famous on TikTok for his Destiny content in general. We have Mr. Red. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you? Nah, I'm doing good, bro. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah. Let's say, if you want to shout out your stuff, do all that fun stuff you can. It's no big deal.
Yeah, follow me at I_Mr. Red on the Instagram, TikTok, and that's about it right now. I do have a YouTube, but there really ain't shit on there yet. So it's pretty much
fair enough. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and dive in. So last week Like,
We got
like,
some fun stuff to talk about this week.
I mean, other than one topic, which we're going to start off with and knock out now, it was a very interesting week in the history of Destiny. But so last week we kind of glossed over it, where we acknowledged and gave props to Bungie for recognizing the different LGBT characters they have in the game because of National Coming Out Day, which was a day after my birthday on October 11th. So, since that day came out, we have had several different people on our social media accounts, and mostly TikTok, basically just bashing Bungie. Well, bashing Bungie on their social media is also bashing us. Bashing Bungie, doing the same rhetoric that we see a lot in just culture, and not even just nerd culture, but in culture in general, where you have cisgendered, heterosexual people saying that I don't understand why these developers have to inject or force politics into my video game. And it's fucking annoying. So let's talk about it. So, other than Mr. Red here, this podcast is hosted by all LGBTQIA plus individuals. We have Toll who's still figuring it out, but he's queer. It's fine.
I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. I'm slapping a bi label onto myself for now.
Cool.
Maybe pan on it. It's a very much work in progress, but we're taking my time with it. I'm not in a rush.
Hell yeah, you got my gay black ass. You have our other two hunters who are both at work right now, who send their love, but they are both non-binary, like pansexual hooligans, and they're doing their best to exist in this country. And both of them are very much presenting of presenting of one gender when in reality they exist outside of gender. So they deal with the struggles of that. Now, in regards to the issue, as somebody who has a comic podcast that's on hiatus right now, who's been watching nerd media evolve since Gamergate and then Comicsgate, and now just the overall narrative of the current society, y'all need to shut the fuck up. Like, that's where I'm pretty much at, where it's like we keep having the struggle where, and I will start it off like at the ending of where all my TikTok videos ended, where I flat out said that my existence or any of my cast members' existence or any of my fellow LGBTQIA plus individuals' existence is not political. The term identity politics was created by like cisgendered white individuals, heterosexual individuals, back in the day when they tried to stop black women from voting. That is the origin of identity politics, because white people wanted to stop black people from voting. Ergo, the idea of identity politics is rooted in the idea that people are trying to stop progression from stopping the cisgendered heterosexual white way of life, meaning they don't want their norm to change. They don't want the heteronormativity, the white normativity thing to change. They don't want things to change in their way. So when they see that change coming, they are fearful, whether it's subconsciously, whether it's very upfront in their headspace. They will do whatever it takes to stop it, even if it means just talking shit on Twitter. And in the past like 2 weeks between both Destiny and Apex Legends, because Apex Legends when announced their next legend is going to be a trans character, we've seen this bubble up again. And let's be real, Destiny 2 is a post-apocalyptic game in the future, where they talk where by that time period, sexuality has evolved, the concept of gender has evolved. So who gives a fuck? And also, none of these characters, in terms of their forcing or injecting their sexuality, never occurred. Because people will say pandering, it's pandering to those people. Y'all don't even know what the word pandering even means. Because you take what people have told you pandering means, and you act like it's the end-all be-all term for no reason. Because because the actual root of it, to do or provide exactly what a person or a group wants, when it's not acceptable, reasonable, or approved of, usually in order for a personal advantage. Meaning, in the eyes of these heterosexual like white people, they see like sexual orientation or gender being explored in video games as just detracting from the purpose of the game. And my exact question to all of these individuals, and what I actually posed to one of the critics in my comment section was, okay, cool. Y'all mad that our sexualities are being talked about in a video game. Were y'all mad at Zavala last season in the season of The Haunted when his dead wife was literally like gaslighting the fuck out of him?
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it a buck, because that is a full fronting of his sexuality. That is a full fronting of his heterosexuality. So, and like any or showing of that is an example of it. Or better yet, how about the fact that Clovis Bray has granddaughters, let alone children? That's a showing of his heterosexuality. Because for all we know, unless Clovis Bray comes out to be gay, he produced children with somebody. So that is an example of him being heterosexual. Or any other character that finds a love interest in a video game. That is a showing of their sexuality. What you don't like is that other people's sexualities are being explored in the video games. Look at Saint 14 and Osiris. Perfect example. Have like, they were never assumed, y'all assumed they were straight because that's what y'all were taught. In reality, they never said, I'm straight. I only fuck women. That never happened. Who said that? No one said that. Or Drifter came out like, take those moats, I'ma go get me a girl. No one said that. No one said that. He didn't say he was straight. No one's not. No, like that's why like when you've been taught these norms, these normative ways of your existence, you act as if them being introduced is pandering. Them being introduced is a bad thing. So you immediately get on the defense and go, oh, you're ruining my video games. Oh my God. Stop it. And it makes it even funnier when you are homophobic or transphobic or or bigoted in any way, when you play a game mode like Trials of Osiris, where you'll call people the F slur, but then the whole game mode's ran by 2 F slurs. Ain't that funny? So yeah.
Yeah, no. Shout out to all the
Yeah.
people who are mad at Drifter for being pansexual. That is the most in character thing for Jermaine. Really?
And what's
It's like, yo, we knew.
Yeah, like legit. There was like 85% of the community that when they saw that Drifter was pan, they were just kind of like, that tracks. And then there was like
You think Drifter would fuck anything that has a hole? Yeah,
right.
I can see
like,
that.
He eats everything.
He legit said he ate Hive before, so it's like, bro, come on now.
And he's also, like, I tried to eat Vex, but I'm not sure how to.
And like, and one person, shout out to Luke Reynolds, who wanted to be in my comments and wanted to have a last minute response after I said my identity is not political. He says, I wish that these topics weren't associated with politics. They are, but they are. That's kind of my point. Like, if Drifter was panned from the get-go, that's completely fine. I have no issue with that. I'm just a bit miffed that they kind of just announced it for no reason. Here's my thing.
It's character development. Like, bruh.
Not only
Bungie
that.
makes decisions in the lore, and then they announce them here. Who knows how long it took them to get to this point? They could have been the lore team could have been working on this for 2 months and then said, okay, we're ready to release this to the public. They probably wanted to get everything squared away for that announcement first. So they had to put lore. They put all the lore books in with Aramis and all of that. Because if you read the most recent lore books that for the end of the season with Aramis, those were fucking fantastic.
And then him flirting with Mithrax has been adorable. But here's the kicker though. Here's what I wanted to highlight. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Toll.
No, you're fine.
The same thing with Saint and Osiris. Did you ever hear Saint 14 go, I'm gay? No.
They're not doing that. They're saying they are, and they're just continuing with them as characters.
Like
the story that they've worked on. They're not asserting it into the story. They're making it part of their character, which is different. And part of Saint and Osiris's story is their relationship.
Right. And there was even a moment during There was even the moment during Season of the Hunt where all this spurred from, because there was only teases of it in Season of the Dawn, which, to be fair, any motherfucker like spinning through time and space in the infinite forest to get their man back is pretty gay to begin with. But they confirmed it in Season of the Hunt, because the moment where we I don't even know this was like, Segura is gone, you start the mission and Osiris says, tell Saint, and he like his comm goes out and Ghost says, tell him yourself. When that line was heard, speculation rose online, and the narrative director had to go onto Polygon and talk about it and said, yep, they're gay. And that's where it came from. That's where people were like, oh, you're just forcing it. Oh my God, you're injecting it into my video game. No, they prepped you for it. They did that entire storyline in Season of the Dawn, and then they wove it into the background. Like, if you look at half of the fucking lore books and weapons, and just go read books of like the Boots of the Assembler lore tab, and that will just break your heart alone in terms of their relationship. Like,
you want another one that'll break your heart with the whole relationship? Read the Second Chance Titan arms.
Ooh,
while
yeah.
it doesn't directly talk about their relationship, it's Saint and Shax talking about life, and it gets brought up. You also have all the audio from this season where Mithrax is like, "Is Osiris okay? How is he doing?" Like, there's that stuff there.
And it's like, there's even a lore book from Season of the Haunted last season where Saint legit had to say no to going on to the Leviathan because he knew that his ghost would be Osiris cussing him the fuck out. So like, like legitimately. So there's never gonna be Drifter coming out, hey brother, go bank those votes, I'm pansexual. He's never gonna say that. Like, it's never gonna be like that. Or like, or he'll never go like, I just mess with everybody. He's never gonna say that. He's
that's
just
not his character.
Right, like that's never anybody's character. Like, there's side characters in the back of the main story. They're never just gonna be like, I'm a, or like Marasa's not gonna walk up and be like, I'm bisexual. Like, no, stop that. They are confirmed by the devs.
You expected Mara not to be bisexual. Like, come on, it's Mara Sov. Like,
and they confirmed one of the Cloud Striders is gonna be non-binary.
Which,
like,
I'm looking at it as like, from watching the trailers and everything we see from all the little lore bits they tell us, it makes sense because they're more made to be these warriors.
Right, they're like they're only exist for like 10 years.
Right. So it's like, that's the least of their concern. So if they have if they're non-binary, that makes sense for their character, because it's like they don't have a lot to worry about, and they're just kind of going and doing their job as the heroes of what is
Neptune?
Neo Luna.
Yeah, Neo Luna. So like, that's what we wanted to get at the heart of, is like, stop. Y'all need to stop thinking that straight is the norm, because no one's confirmed straight until they said they're straight. B, stop thinking everything about somebody is political.
And stop making it about yourself. Like, come on.
Right.
We're at the point where we're all just trying to live our lives, man. At this, it's just, we leave you alone, you leave us alone. If we want to come hang out, that's fine, but...
like, Red's here, he's over here eating on popcorn watching us rant. Like, he don't give a fuck. Like, he's having a good time.
We just want to sit here and talk about one of our favorite video games, Destiny. That's all we want to do. And it's just, we don't need to do this, man. We're just all on this planet together. Let's just come hang out all together and play Destiny.
Exactly. So that's and also like the book market, just like, stop acting like somebody getting representation is a problem. Like, you don't have the right to tell somebody if the representation is good or not. Like, from us being queer individuals, we can interpret it like even if you are somebody who studied queer theory in high school, in college, and has a doctorate in queer theory, because queer theory is actually a real thing in theater and movies. Even if you have a doctorate in it and you're straight, that does not give you the right to tell a queer person how to absorb their media, or a black person how to absorb their media, or any person of color how to absorb their media. Like, flat out. End of story. Have a good night. Now, let's talk about the Festival of the Lost.
I want to start off with the Macabre.
No, we're gonna start off with Mechs 1, Mechs 1, Mechs 1, Mechs 1.
Hey, I actually got a good skin rocking. I made an Optimus Prime skin.
Yeah, but yo ass is over here like I want Godzilla, even though I don't play Hunter. Me.
Yes, because I'm a Godzilla fan. Look, just because Monsters didn't win doesn't mean I can't go and buy the mech armor.
I'm gonna laugh if like every year for the next like 3 years, Monsters never wins.
Look, just
Like,
because
it
I
wouldn't be
root,
correct if Monsters ever won a thing.
it would be. I wouldn't be surprised, but look, Mechs
What
won.
was last year's? Was it dinosaurs?
It was dinosaurs. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
so I guess that would have been kind of weird if it was back to back. Like one season you had dinosaurs, which are just like the old earthly monsters, and then the following season you have monsters again. Like I feel like it would have been weird if they did back to back because like
Right.
All right.
like we already had like alien.
They might just say fuck it
kind of-
and give it to you next year out of pity. So just look out for that. It might just get like they give you the pity one. Well, you lost twice. Here you go. That'd be funny. But no, in terms of the Macabre, matter of fact, let's talk like in tying in with the Macabre first though. The big issue that happened with the entire Festival of the Lost thing was shortly after the launch and the update rolled out, there were people that couldn't finish the quest. And what was funny about it, well, what's sad about it is Bungie flat out said, yo, you finished the quest, cool. We're not gonna make you grind anymore. Here's a god roll of the sniper.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like y'all just made everybody who signed up for this event just quit on automatically. They don't give a fuck about the Brain Tech. They don't give a fuck about like unless they want new perks. So they don't give a fuck about the Jurassic Green because they have peace of mind. Like you just straight up handed everybody a brand new sniper rifle for free, and they have no reason to play your content anymore.
I mean, I posted on TikTok thinking, "Oh my god, look! The first roll I get is the god roll," because I had started playing it right after the update rolled out. Come to my knowledge, everybody got it. I was like, "Oh, I don't feel special anymore."
Right, like they straight up said, "Yo, here's a literal god range roll," and I'll admit the gun is sexy. The gun, like it has a beautiful ADS sound, has a beautiful shoot sound. it feels like the most anime gun you could ever hand somebody.
It is the best. The best looking holiday themed weapon that they have released in recent memory. I don't think I can remember a single season where like the main gun looked this sick. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Glacial Plasm was close. Glacial Plasm was close, I'd say.
Yeah, but even that, like I agree with you. But that was basically a season Christmas. Like that was Christmas themed. Yeah. So it was like I like what they did with it. Is amazing art. This was like an entirely brand new sounding, sexy ass motherfucking gun, and I just thought it was wow, chef's kiss.
It sounds
this
like
was
one of the old Gundam blasters too.
It really does.
And I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, I love it because I used to watch a lot of the old Gundam when I was a kid. It's just like it's so cool. While
it's beautiful.
Myself, I wanted Monsters. I hoped I didn't mind if Mechs won, and they did. So I bought me a skin.
And like it's great. Now, what really sucks though is that like Bungie, like I was saying, Bungie flat out just said, "Yo, you have no reason to play our game anymore unless you want like no distractions or a PvE role. You have no reason to play this content anymore." And it sucks because not only did they just recycle, which I called, and Falcon's not here for me to gloat, but like I called them just recycling this content. But also, well, they added one new lost sector, which was an EDZ lost sector. And they added some voice lines with Drifter and Ido, which, okay, cool, but it's still just haunted lost sectors with the same thing. And they did the same motherfucking thing from last year where the timer doesn't autocomplete once you kill all 10 of the haunted, the headless ones. So you're sitting there for almost a minute and a half, just sitting there with you, like waiting for the timer to end. And granted, Hippie, one of the community managers, did say in the comments of the TWAB they are looking into it. But there was people commenting to her, which I feel bad, but they're kind of correct. why wasn't this corrected before they rolled it back out when it was an issue last year too? It feels bad. Like I don't want to be at Bungie's throat.
My whole 2 cents on this recycling of seasonal shit.
Okay.
I've been here since, day one, D1. So like I've seen the comings and goings of good and shitty seasonal contents. So when I see something like this, where it was like the first shift to Haunted Lost Sectors, I thought was a neat little twist. But if you think to the 2 years we had before that, kind of staying stagnant, kind of felt like this was almost easy to see coming, that it was just going to be the same exact thing. So what are they going to do? Like make like haunted public events? Like what the fuck else is there to do for this shit? Unless they make an entire new game mode or Haunted Festival of the Lost.
I feel like they needed to do something that rivaled the fear people had in the Infinite Forest. Like that pitch black pulling up invincible, like axe wielding hive behind you. They didn't really measure up to that. Like you could have put it on like on Europa in like the Deepstone Crypt and had like Vex and Fallen attacking you in the deepest reaches of it, and they would have made the Deepstone Crypt bigger. Like you could have did like, or this specifically this year as a new way to do it, like especially because preservation lets you go into the raid, you could have had the whole pyramid just been like scary as hell.
Yeah,
just like
I would have loved that shit, but I don't think we're gonna see anything like that until like the final shape or the last couple of seasons leading into the final shape. Because what I think happens, and this is something that I've noticed in the consistency that they've had throughout all of their seasons, is that it doesn't look like they're developing the seasons same timeline as we're feeling the ever-changing world of Destiny. Now to break that down a little further, I think this season, start to finish, like all of what we're experiencing right now was probably a year and a half ago. And we're just getting like the finished kind of product rolled out now. And when you have something that's quote unquote recycled or reused, rehashed, revamped content, I think it's just kind of almost like a placeholder that they have while they're also working on something bigger. Because since that Sony merger, I was happy as shit, but I knew the second that shit happened, we're probably not going to see any fruits of that until like a year from now. But that's just how the game goes, man. Like, just to give you a little backstory for me, like I worked in cybersecurity for a flight simulator company for like a year and a half. I've seen firsthand what like development of games and development of like software like this shit looks like. And when it's something as big as the game of Destiny, even with all of the hirings that they have and all the new people they have, even with the staff they had on stand beforehand, I doubt that the magnitude of what you're describing is what I think we as players want isn't going to happen until like the final shape. That's when we're going to have all that Sony money, this Epic partnership, all of these different, resources that we have available as like that they would have available in Bungie to start actually making a new game. I don't think we're actually going to see that until they've had time to develop it.
That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Coming in from, I've been thinking of like what I've been very adamant with this on the podcast of why Bungie was sunsetting content because of Activision law deals, and now them coming out and saying we're not sunsetting anything. That makes sense, and it's like with the Sony deal, that makes a lot of sense coming from with my a little bit of legal background, so it makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's also like they made a big switch when they jumped engines like that. It was, I think when they mentioned it, they were revamping into a new engine going into Beyond Light. I don't think it really got the magnitude it deserved for how crazy that actually is when you're switching like that. Because you're basically importing an entire new game into it. It's not like you can just copy and paste shit from year 1 D2 into this new engine. It don't work like that. You got to rebuild fucking everything from the ground up. So if you wanted to bring
there's been things like Mindbenders glitching, it makes perfect sense. Like they had to import Mindbenders and then try to add origin traits and other perks to it. So it makes sense that it would have that kind of issue.
I did it like that. I think they more did how they did it with the opulent weapons coming back, where they said, no, we rebuilt these weapons.
Yeah. Those are completely brand new. So even though it looks like, they just copied and pasted this shit from fucking the Menagerie, like, no, they had to look at a different screen, recode, rebuild, and reprogram the exact same gun on a different screen. Of course, it's gonna take some time, and it's gonna it's gonna eat up for what could have been new space, but that shit probably took forever.
They even said with the returning raids, they had to rebuild that stuff from ground up. That's why that's why there's no green haze in Oryx's room anymore. There's no
it looks fantastic.
It looks even better. Like they had to reboot everything from scratch just to make it be in the new engine. So it makes perfect sense. So yeah, no, that very much tracks a lot of what's been going on. And I mean, I feel like Bungie doesn't like. I will say that they had plenty of time to prep this. So like, not only the whole issue with the timer not completing, but then the issue with the pages, because they even said there's an issue going on where some people can't complete the quest, but also because they can't even do the game mode because the game mode won't take their haunted pages and manifest the haunted pages. So you have people who just can't get the rewards still, despite the patch that or the work on it. They can't use it. It's very weird. So I want to give them props for being very well communicated the past 24 hours or so with the issue, but it's also like y'all had a year and y'all didn't prep any of this. Like, what happened? Like y'all just
shit when that
y'all
shit
just
was
dusted
put in
it
the
off and threw
fucking
it back
closet.
up? I mean,
dusted that motherfucker off when it gets closer to Halloween.
I've been saying for years, every time there's a holiday event, they just drag Grandma Ava out the closet and throw her back up on the tree, like that. And
they pull her out the home. They wheel her ass back into the tower.
She's like, "Where's
tell her it's back in the
Maria?"
golden age.
They haven't changed your voice line in so long. It's more like
it's Carlos and Maria. Even they died years ago. What?
Yeah. Who are they?
Like I love when new lights come in. They're like, "Who the hell is Carlos and Maria?" And they're like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, just let her ramble. It's cool."
You don't know either, bro.
But no, it's just it cracks me up when that stuff happens. But I will say I will give Bungie infinite props. How they've been very communicative the past 24 hours, and also to the people who were very respectful in their comments and trying to help Bungie. Good job. Stop sending hate comments, and things can get fixed the right way. Good job.
We want to see the Halloween event so far. This is my first time doing the Haunted Lost sectors. Yeah, they're kind of boring, but the loot is kind of worth it.
Oh yeah, that rains loot.
Being the same RPM as the Peace of Mind is interesting because now it can get incandescent, which can be a really funny play in Crucible. Especially in Trials. From what I've heard from Panda. Yeah. So it's like I have a role that has incandescent steady hands. So I'm like, this could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the reason why I feel bad about Jurassic Green, though, is because it was kind of a cool gun to chase last year if you got a decent roll of it because the perk pool was kind of ass. But like, it came out right as they started to buff that archetype of pulse rifles. So you saw Darkest Before get picked up more because of the buff, and then Peace of Mind rolled out and it was like, oh, so these three guns are really powerful. But Jurassic Green's perk pool kind of sucks. So now it's rolling out with new perks, and you're like, that might actually do some work. So I'm chasing a Perpetual Motion Incandescent right now. That thing's gonna be nasty.
And then there's the horror story, which is kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of just there. It like
my thing with Horror Story is I already have an Iron Banner forward path. I don't need another one, so I'm not worried about.
Or like it's kind of just there, and with the Duty Bound still being available, it's like there are other auto rifles better. And the Braytech.
We'll get to that.
The Braytech.
I remember the first.
Go ahead, Red.
The first was it Festival of Lost where they introduced the horror the 450. What was the name of it? The horror.
The horror story.
Yeah, the horror story. They had comes with Rampage ends in moment in big bold letters. Like this is the thing to chase. This is the reason to get the gun. We're just there like, all right. Like,
they gutted all that shit off that thing.
It just feels like, why is this what you're promoting? What's wrong with this? It's like if you're going to a hotel and it's like, yes, we have running water. It's like, yeah, I fucking hope so. Like, why are you
Right.
promoting this? What else is wrong with this gun?
And also, there's maybe even people reporting that some of the older guns like Horror Story and Braytech aren't rolling with the origin traits. So you're getting these old. That's what we were kind of talking about. How they're importing older guns from the previous engine and not giving them the new tools like Mindbenders and Braytech and things like that. So it's very telling of what's been going on, of how they haven't been able to update everything. But at the same time, there's been just small things from the past year, like Jurassic Green not being able to roll out. That was a brand new gun, or just fixing the timer, because it's kind of annoying sitting there waiting. Right, that sounds like a first world problem, but like I even clipped me and two random doing the band emote while we were waiting for the freaking timer to run out. So it's like that stuff can be kind of grating, especially when you want to farm it. You have to get like 170, 180 pages just to get the volume 2 done. And if you didn't finish volume 1 of the lore book last year, you have to go back and do that. Granted, and I don't think Bungie meant for us to do this. So, and all different YouTubers already told everyone, so I don't feel bad saying it. But if you do the investigation mission on repeat over and over again, you get 9 pages and sometimes 10 per round. So you can stack up to 75 pages, and then go into the lost sectors and do all that crap. So it's very entertaining to just do all that and then go back in there. But also, what I've been noticing is people trying to get the seal have been like grinding nightfalls to get the candy, because the candy drops like 500 candy a round. So that's funny. But it's just like people are looking for every little way to break the system, because Bungie hasn't really given people an organic way to get this done. It's just very interesting to see that happen. So it's just, I have to give props to Bungie for doing well with communication, but also fix the things that are going on. It's kind of like, I love the theming. I do want to. Who was it? I forget who it was, but someone. Oh yeah, it was freaking Lucky. Lucky 10p and me have beef, because he straight up just kind of like crapped all over Bungie for fucking for like not fixing everything, but then having like a truckload of new cosmetics and just saying next year all they're gonna do is be like, here's our cosmetics. There's no new game mode or no new changes at all. There's not even a game mode to play. I'm like, do you not read the TWAB and see how excited they are about Halloween? Do you not like hear the excitement from the devs about them working on this? Like, they may slip up, they might have some issues, but like, don't be like that. Like, don't like it just kind of irritates me. I know people have beef with the cash out, but I barely touch it, and I just play the game mode. I play the game, so it's like, don't crap on the devs because they're doing their best, damn. And like, for all we know, Red might be right that like this was planned to just be a holdover until next year and the year after, when they can start rolling out new stuff for Halloween and stuff like that. So get off their back.
They're doing the best they can. Yes, I found out. I'm gonna be a little mad toll for a minute, but there are still bugs in Duality. They fixed a few of them. Yes, there are still bugs in Duality.
Yeah, they did fix some, but there's still bugs.
My fucking artifice slot back in my legs. They just straight up de-artificed my armor for no fucking reason, and I still haven't gotten that shit back.
From last season, or is it the Grasp of Avarice one?
Grasp of Avarice.
The Grasp of Avarice, because the ones got bugged when they rolled over.
It rolled over into Witch Queen, and it took my artifice slots away. And I'm like, all right, we fixed the artifice issue. Nope, my shit still does not have it.
I think they meant they fixed it for anything newer coming out, because like if you were wearing any of the seasonal mods, that just kind of like messed up your stuff. You can't really get it back, and it sucks.
Yeah, thanks, Bungie. I wanted to go fuck myself. Thank you.
Right, and like we can sit here and like talk a little bit of it, but it's like we're not gonna be just dicks in terms of that.
I'm still gonna go play Duality because that's my favorite dungeon. But I'm like, can you at least fix? Like, I get that it might be a massive coding issue with the bells because it's a weird ass system. But I'm just like, can you at least update us on it? Something.
Yeah. Like even a mini section of everything. But like, how big would that TWAB be every week?
I wouldn't care if it was just a section of everything we're working on bug-wise. It would be awesome, because at least we would be able to track and see that they're working on stuff.
Right. So it's like, and I'll even like, and they even said like, hey, this is a smaller of a TWAB. So, but also we appreciate when there's more extensive TWAB, especially when, like, other than what. And there was even about to be anarchy this past week in the community when the update went live, and there was an issue where the flawless solo triumphs for all the dungeons switched to full fire team and not solo. And people were thinking they just started catering to the casuals again, but DMG had to come out with the fire hose and be like, back, I say, because they found out it was a legit issue with some of the like some older stuff and changing like coding for some of like older triumphs. It wasn't meant it was a blanket change, but it wasn't supposed to affect the dungeons. The dungeons still only give you the triumph if you complete it solo. It's just a wording change that they're gonna fix. So everyone was ready to go to war with Bungie, and DMG had to come out and tell y'all to shut the fuck up. So it's
which I get, because solo dungeons are very, very fun to do.
Trust me,
I am very close to finishing a solo run of Pit of Heresy.
Same. I've completed the solo run. I just need to do the solo flawless.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not what they want to do. They don't want to take that away. It was just an error in coding.
It was an error in coding, and it happens. They were honest about it. And that's what we like, is communication.
With it that same day, because Panda and I were in a party. We learned about it. We were
like, what?
We were ready to go. We were ready to be part of the fire. And I just was going through. I was like, all right, let me go look on Twitter, see if I can find anything. Literally, the first thing I found is DMG tweeting about it.
But even then, we wouldn't have like been a part of the fire per se. We would have been like, hey, I'd probably would tweet DMG and been like, hey, notice this, what's up? Or like, hey, Destiny Bulletin noted this, what's up, what's going on? And waited for a response like an actual adult. Like, I wouldn't have been attacking somebody like stupidly.
No. That's not what we're saying. We would be a part of the people like, hey, what's going on? Is this?
Yes, it's weird. Right. But it's like, and we're over here like, hey, Bungie, communicate with us more. Communicate with us every week on a grand scale. That way we have communication. Hell, they rolled back out the Gear Falcon Hunter Exotic and didn't even tell anyone it was coming out this week. They just did it. Like, they didn't tell it because they had said it was coming out later in the season. They didn't tell us it was coming out this patch. And now Gear Falcon's going to reign supreme in trials this week, and it's going to piss me off. But like, like, they just rolled it out. There should have been communication saying, hey, this is coming this time, this when. And what sucks is they're probably just freaking, we talk about it all the time, they're probably just scared of backlash from the community. They don't want to always give us every little piece of morsel, and it sucks. So I'm like praising Bungie for their communication, but I'm also like, don't be dicks to them when they do communicate or when they have a mess up. That way they continue to communicate with us, is what I would like to put on the board there. From there,
TWAB, I have it all pulled up.
Yeah, the TWAB was super short. There wasn't really anything crazy. They did.
No. There is some crazy things.
There wasn't anything crazy.
The one thing that they did put in was crazy.
What, the guns?
Yes, I'm sad.
That wasn't crazy. Okay, so if
coming from Mr. Shotgun here.
Okay, no. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. When it comes to, because okay, so for context, they announced what guns are going to be rotating out of the pool for Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris, and Nightfalls. This time it isn't as egregious because these guns have been here for a long period of time. And all of these are leaving in the same sort of like bracket that they came in on, as in like Aisha's and Reed's came at the same time, Duty Bound, Silicon Aroma came back at the same time, Forge's Pledge and Reese Walker came at the same time. So I'm not mad this time. My issue previously was when they had kicked out Hung Jury after like 2 seasons, but kept Palindrome because Palindrome was meta in the Crucible, even though Hung Jury just got buffed and is good in both PvP and PvE and was still valuable in PvE prior to the buff. And they just those dumb choices. Like, but then like they introduced Duty Bound and Silicon Aroma and kick out Hung Jury, but Silicon Aroma and Duty Bound aren't really good weapons. Like Silicon Aroma is decent for PvP, but there's tons of snipers that outclass it. Then you have Duty Bound, which is a decent auto rifle for PvE, but there's so many auto rifles for PvE that outclass it. So it's like, and also, who's using an auto rifle in PvE anyway right now? Like, let's be real here. So it's like there was better picks to remove at certain time periods. That was my issue previously. This time, all 6 of these guns have been here for a long time, and there are guns to replace them when they leave.
So, but you're not upset that your baby Reese Walker is leaving.
Reese Walker's been here since Season of the Splicer, Toll. Like, it's
I'll be real. Since I was getting this crafted Wastelander, I think that's the only reason.
Yeah. Like,
don't give a fuck about these weapons.
Right, like you have a crafted Wastelander now that does what Reese Walker did, if not better. But also, well, Reese Walker is never gonna die because that range of that motherfucker is amazing. But like we've had, let's see, Splicer, Lost, Risen, Haunted. Now that's 5 seasons. We've had Reese Walker for 5 seasons. So
yeah,
Fortress Place and Reese Walker came at the same time for 5 seasons. That's been there for a hot minute. Hung Jury was here for 2. What? So it's like there's been incorrect decisions, but these were reasonable. These were fine. So I'm hoping
weapon removal in recent history that I can ever remember, where everyone was more excited. Like the amount of excitement, and this is rare for the community. The amount of excitement for whatever new weapons are coming in supersede the anger that they would have for the weapons going away. I feel like 99% of the community flying.
No one. I'll be honest. No one really.
All right, cool. I knew we were gonna get.
Last season, I'm doing GMs, and I'm like, does anyone actually use the Silicon Aroma?
Nope.
Like honestly.
Like you'll see it every once in a while in PvP, but otherwise, no one's using that damn thing.
Now, if you do want to get these guns, we don't know when Aisha's Embrace or Reed's are going to be the flawless weapons. If you,
they just actually had their chance to be flawless weapons again the past 2 weeks. Both of them ran through. Aisha's was the first weapon of the season, and Reed's was after the bow. So there's a chance they might roll back as adepts, but at the very least, it's not as pressing to get a Reed's because we have things like Type right now.
You have craftable linears, and you have other linears that you can easily get.
But specifically Aisha's Embrace is one of the best Void Scout rifles in the game for both PvE and PvP, because whenever they have like Anti-Barrier Scout or Unstoppable Scout, Aisha's Embrace is a monster. So like, even if it's not even adept, even if you get like a normal one that's like triple tap Adagio, triple tap 4 times the charm, just something solid that you can use in PvE. Oh, what?
Harmony.
We don't speak of that perk in my house. Anyway,
now for the Iron Banner weapons,
I don't like Harmony.
He does not like Harmony. The Iron Banner weapons. I would say last week the week you can get them is from November 15th until November 22nd.
And if you chase any of them, make it be Reese Walker, because Forge's Pledge does not have a good perk pool. The best you would get from Forge's Pledge is heating up Rampage, because that's the god roll. But otherwise, like Reese Walker, if you get a Reese Walker, aim for like Surplus Iron Reach, Quick Draw Iron Reach, Slide Shot Iron Reach, or Slideways Iron Reach, excuse me, and just aim for those 2. Like your mag and your barrel can help, but those are the 3 perk combinations you want to shoot for: Iron Reach Quick Draw, Iron Reach Surplus, or Iron Reach Slideways. And that gun will be the best thing you could hope for a shotgun. If you can't get it, cool, whatever, it's fine. You'll have Wastelander to craft.
There are other options out there. Now for the Silicon Aroma, it is going to be the Devil's Lair GM on November 8th.
Hate that GM.
And the Duty Bound is going on this week, October 18th with Fallen Saber. And then again, November 29th, it will also be around. So you have another full week to get it if you want.
Which is pretty cool. So definitely look at it. Now, the thing that they teased at the end of the TWAB after this was legacy focusing. Now, I don't know if someone at Bungie is listening to the podcast because I hinted at this. I hinted at this idea previously of focusing old weapons that rotated out. That now I will agree with Asdacross who said, what about adept weapons? But in general, if they make it so if you can focus or like put Umbral engrams into like Hungjury, Palindrome, Shadow Price,
fucking happy. I don't have that.
Like all these different guns that were in rotation before, or for like that'd be so cool. Or like especially for trials, just put the whole freaking library in focusing. Like don't even make them adept.
Like,
just put the whole library of freaking trials weapons there to focus if they want them. Like
do the same with Nightfall weapons. Do the same with Gambit weapons, Crucible weapons.
Legacy,
I mean,
everything.
I would pay an arm and a leg right now to focus a yesteryear, and you can't. I got fucking lucky.
Yeah, what's up with that? You can't. You can focus every other gun, but you can't focus a yesteryear. That's so weird.
It's the bullshit that comes with fucking new weapons that come into this game.
Yeah, like I would love to focus a freaking out of bounds or like
season,
at least
you can't focus it until next season.
That's so weird. But
I'm so
next season
Panda's gonna hate me for this.
He got,
but I got a Desperado steady hands roll.
Desperado is a bad perk. Come at me.
I know he would say it, but I'm just saying, like I
want every PvP main to hear me right now. Come at me. Desperado is a bad perk. Desperado just proves you don't know how to shoot your pulse rifle. Fight me. Come at me.
I know you don't like it, but
person
it's a perk
preaching positivity and love before you have chosen violence very quickly.
No, don't get me wrong. I am very much like everybody can enjoy the game, everyone can love their stuff. But like when it comes to PvP and people over here like, oh, Desperado was amazing. Desperado was great before it got nerfed. Desperado was never anything. My outlaw kill clip messenger could beat your Desperado messenger 8 days a week. Fight me.
I hear what you're saying. You're allowed to love perks, y'all. Because all perks are each their own. But if you love Desperado, fuck you.
Like those are my two perks that I cannot. I have 4 perks in the game that I cannot stand. I have a beef with any perk like Firmly Planted or the other one that makes you crouch during an activity, and I have beef with Harmony, and I have beef with Desperado. Because Harmony makes me have to switch my gun to get a buff versus if I already have a gun in my hand, I'm already in a firefight. Why am I hot swapping to a different gun? I don't like it. I see the benefit of it if you have that kind of play style. I just don't like it for me. For Desperado was a situation where y'all people didn't like pulse rifles to begin with. Y'all just like auto rifles. So if you got a kill, your pulse rifle became an auto rifle, you just liked it. But in reality, if you're skilled with pulse rifles, you don't need Desperado. You can hit your shots without it. So, fuck Desperado. But we real quick, before I forget, I do want to include Prismatic because Prismatic has not been able to be here because they have started a new job. I do want to throw in some of their comments because they did message me before the show. In terms of the thoughts in regards to the Haunted Law sectors, they said, I hate the Haunted Law sectors and prefer the Infinite Forest. If you're playing with people, split up to summon all the headless ones. Because yes, if you do not split up your fire team, you will not complete that activity. You will literally, like, those headless ones won't be able to be summoned, and you have a chance to get 10 per round. So make sure you split up your fire team. And the event pulse rifle is trash. Yeah, Jurassic Grade ain't shit. In regards to the queer topic, Bungie adding gay characters supports inclusiveness in their community, and I'm here for it. It makes their stories more real. It makes sense. And, so that was a little bit of 2 cents. They will be back in 2 weeks, so that they're still part of the show. So don't get it twisted. I will fight y'all if y'all have beef with them. Anyway, listener questions. Yeah, if you love this. Listener questions. Toll, hit me or hit us rather.
Let me pull them up.
You were supposed to have them already up, motherfucker.
Well, I'm sorry. I was busy looking at some yesteryear perks. So I was like, oh, what else can this thing roll with? Because it can come with a multi-kill clip, which I'm like, eh.
Ugh.
Eye of the Storm, which I still don't understand how that.
I love
I
Eye of the
don't
Storm.
understand how that perk works.
How do you not understand how Eye of the Storm works?
I literally just don't understand it. I'm sorry. It's like
Okay, let me pull up Eye of the
All right,
Storm.
so
I'm
you know
gonna
your
read
gun
it to you
jumps around a lot
verbatim.
when you shoot it? You get shot, it don't do that no more.
Legit. That's the best way you can phrase it. If you're in a firefight and you're shooting your gun, but like the bloom is going up and down, you're having trouble with the stability. If you while you're being shot and your health gets lower, Eye of the Storm helps you hit your helps with your handling and your stability and your accuracy. So it's like extra a little bit of aim assist in handling while you're trying to shoot your gun if you're taking damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how do you not understand? All right, so what? Hit me with some good stuff.
All right, so this is coming where I just had it. This is coming from Seraph of the End. What are y'all's top 5 weapons you want to see buffed or reworked in Season 19?
I want my Lord of Wolves back, and I don't know, Bungie. I don't know what you did to my Lord of Wolves, but like the idea that Lord of Wolves was acting like a breach grenade launcher. What the fuck did you do to my child? I am so upset. But that was my joke. That was some real pain I suffered this week. But like that's not really what I would say. Red, go ahead.
All right, so
5 guns you want to see buffed or changed?
I want Borealis to have incandescent on its solar, volatile rounds on its void, volt shot on its arc. That's the number
You just
one
made
thing.
Toll's day because he loves Borealis.
The gun is literally the most useless. It's the most useless sniper in the game right now, and that I believe would at least make it workable.
And they did say they wanted to add in more subclass vocab to guns.
They did say that.
Yeah, and it's like the elemental switching guns are cool. No one uses that shit because it's never worth the exotic slot. Something like that.
It's not.
Something like
that would change the game. That would change the game right there.
That would make me put that shit on for certain GMs in certain situations.
I would put it on I would put it on the hard light. I'm gonna put it on the Borealis. I would not.
Messenger.
I would
Dead
not.
Messenger volatile wave frame. Let's go.
Dead Messenger. That would make that gun
incandescent wave frame, baby.
Let's
that would be so bad.
All right, you got 4 more you want to buff?
Hard light with on command volatile rounds. Let's go.
Oh, that'd be great. You got 4 more guns you want to buff?
Yeah, I want Darcy and Whisper the Worm back in the secondary slot, or just to go to the secondary slot in general because Darcy was never there. I want those 2 back. I want those 2 in the secondary slot. I want Tractor Cannon. This is my hottest hate me take. I want Tractor Cannon in the special, but I want I want it drastically reduced as far as range to kill you.
Why do you want Tractor Cannon in the special? I'm curious about this now, because that's a really hot take. I'm gonna hear for that.
So Tractor Cannon fulfills the role of being a debuff weapon, and it's an exotic, so it takes up your exotic slot. So if you're gonna have it in your heavy slot, you're pigeonholed to your 1 primary and 1 special. Now, if you put it in your special slot, I feel like it takes away the damage that Tractor Cannon can do debuff wise. And now that we're going into like a debuff plunge with Div getting a nerf and everything else being at their low percentages, Tractor Cannon I feel is going to be the next big, must bring Tractor to this GM or must bring X to this GM. Tractor Cannon I feel is the next one up for that. Bring it to the special. It opens up your exotic slot it opens up your heavy slot to be able to do more things, while also not being as punishing for the bullshit that you see with it. Because you go Tractor Cannon, you have your primary, then 1-2 punch shotty, Tractor Cannon, 1-2 punch shotty, and then you're just melting right bosses. If you move Tractor to the secondary slot, I don't think you can consistently do that anymore. Because now
that'd be really cool, yeah. Because I hate that bonk people do that crap. So it would make a lot more sense to remove that and put it in.
Come at my bonk brethren.
Bonk is the reason why Solar 3.0 sucked on Titans, and we've been over this.
I know. but I still just, as the Bonk King,
King.
don't come at. While I don't like what the Bonk community does, I still have to be like, don't come for my guys.
In terms of, man, like I'm really content with the meta right now. Like people don't like how the I will say, let me put an asterisk by that. Up until Tuesday's update, because I haven't set foot in the Crucible with the rangefinder issue going on, I have not. I liked the meta up until Tuesday because you had pulse rifles in a comfy place. You have hand cannons not being dominant but still being powerful. You have some machine guns doing work, but it needed to be pulled back a little bit. You had sidearms actually being seen in some categories. Like we have shotguns still being viable, but also like their randomness needs a little bit of a fix. You see fusion rifles, while still powerful and annoying, not as used because there was multitude of different weapons to use. We are actually in sort of a healthy meta, and it's nice. So I'm enjoying what's going on. Honestly, I don't really want to like buff anything. If I have one gun I want to buff, I would say Whisper. I want Whisper to be like I talked about it previously. I want Whisper to be on the same level as fucking the Black Armory Sniper. I can't think what the fuck it's called.
I want Black Armory weapons back.
Well, that
please.
Izanagi.
What did you say? Izanagi. I want Whisper to be as meta for PvE as Izanagi's, where you have both these powerful snipers that are always reliable when like the meta changes and like the first day one raid is upon us. What do you lean on? Izanagi's. I want it to be Izanagi's and Whisper. That would be really cool to see.
That would be pretty cool.
I'll play devil's in this one.
Okay.
Even though I do want to see it be brought back to the secondary slot. I look at Destiny as a whole game, including D1. Whisper, whenever Black Spindle, Whisper the Worm, Black Hammer were a weapon to choose, you always chose that weapon for 6 years. That was your fucking slot, regardless. From the second it came out until it was nerfed into the fucking ground, it was in your slot to use. You've had Izanagi's for 3 years? 3 years?
Something like that. Yeah, about 3 years.
Like that. Something about 3 years. I'm not mad that Izanagi's has been running around for this long, truthfully. And like, even though it would be cool to see Whisper come back into its prime, it's been like Whisper again, dog. Come on.
Like shit. I'm over here. Like there's one other gun too, like Queenbreaker. I feel like the guns that were nerfed because of Gambit need to come back. Like I feel like we need to be able to have a meta where there's multiple different choices. Nothing's too overpowered. And everyone can have, like, nothing's just sitting in your vault that's never used. Like, that's what I deem a problem. Like, that's like the health of a game, where you just have legit exotic weapons that have been nerfed into the ground because people got tired of them. Or like people like got annoyed they were a thing and they were nerfed into the ground. There needs to be a happy medium.
Truth.
Go for it. Oh, yeah, Truth.
I'm literally looking at my vault right now. I see Truth.
Truth was nerfed because of Gambit. Queensbreaker was nerfed into the Gambit. Sleeper was nerfed because of Gambit.
I don't even have Queensbreaker in my vault. I deleted that.
Sleeper was nerfed because of Gambit, but because of the linear buff that happened, it came back. But even Queensbreaker didn't come back with a linear buff, which I thought was so weird.
They make Queensbreaker a special. I think that would work, but you have to looking at how everything works with Lawrence and with Arby, you have to like narrow the projectile down to, you have to make the projectile size to about a sniper, and I think that would help out a lot.
Also, I support True Vanguard's Twitter post today saying that we need to disable Arbalist and Lawrence in PvP until they can be addressed, because Bungie,
I agree with that.
Bungie just allowing them to exist in the meta for multiple seasons. They said they're not even addressing it until into season 19. That scares me. because those guns are too powerful.
They're really good. They are very, very good weapons. However,
like you see them, like they're not on the top of the trials report, but you see almost every person running them in trials. It's disgusting.
They're there now.
Every team I would say has one, but this isn't as bad as Recluse Mountaintop. This isn't as bad as Luna Dust Rock. This isn't anywhere close to as bad as what the fuck was what was that season? As to Laser season, like that. Like this is bad. Like it is
like
bad.
They're on the top of the trials report right now from last week. Where Arbalist, it goes main ingredient Lawrence, Arbalist, Pete, and J Rabbit. But J Rabbit's on the plummet this week. So it's like, but also when you have things like Gear Falcon about to be a thing, you're about to see multiple teams of hunters running Gear Falcon and Arbalist, and it's going to be disgusting because all they have to do to trigger get that result. Like it's going to be one shot Arbalist shots for days, and it's going to be disgusting. So like y'all were so mad about peace of mind being top of the board, you about to see everybody running around with Gear Falcon and Arbalist, and it's going to be horrible. So prep yourselves for that. Toll, what other questions do we have?
I have a hot take for my few weapons I want to see.
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't give yours.
Yeah, try to get yours. Go ahead.
I want to see Deathbringer buffed, the rocket launcher.
I can see that. Yeah, Deathbringer ain't doing nothing. I can see it getting
it's
buffed.
kind of just existing. I haven't been able to test it yet with the new buff that rocket launcher's got, and I really want to test it because it's one of my favorite rocket launchers because it's like, hey, you shoot your rocket, you explode it, and it just drops. It's like a mini Nova bomb. It's kind of cool.
You want to see damage from it, or do you want to see like a new improved like origin perk or?
I want to see a new improved origin perk. I feel like the way it works now is fine. Maybe they could fix it with a catalyst or something, but I haven't been. The blast radius effect buff should help it. Maybe they buff a damage just a little bit for the like little orbs. Maybe they make them track.
Like, ooh, that sounds scary.
Right, it sounds scary, but it's a heavy.
Yeah, that's fair.
The other one I want to see buffed is Colony, just because.
You leave that shit alone. Don't you fucking dare.
All right, I'll leave that one alone.
Ooh, I was talking a lot of shit earlier. About Jurassic Green not being that good. I just saw a clip on Twitter of Tunnel Vision Golden Tricorn melting people over and over again in PvP. I might have to swallow my throat a little bit on that one. I might have to eat that.
A gun I do want to see actually get some work. The Cerberus +1.
No, you better shut your mouth. That thing is healthy where it's at. Shut your mouth.
What do you know? I'm talking about
Cerberus.
Yes.
Oh God.
Put explosive payload on it or something, because the secondary fire they put in, where it's like it turns it into more of like a shotgun spread. Could you make it shoot faster or something? Like it kind of goes boom, boom, boom. Other than that, it's like maybe put explosive payload on it, or change like the barrels on it.
Honestly, I think from a PvP standpoint, it's in a healthy position. I think it could use a buff in PvE. That way, you have a reason to use an auto rifle in PvE. But otherwise, it's not. You leave that motherfucker alone. That thing is like I've seen people terrorize with Cerberus +1 in PvP before,
I'm
and
one
not
of
even
them.
you, but also I've seen like high level people use it. So like that's what I'm saying. Don't leave that thing where it's at.
My highest kill game ever was with Cerberus. I also
that's terrifying.
It was like what was that game? It was a couple years ago. It was like the not Countdown, the other one where there was a bomb you had to dismantle in each other's like pieces, and you had to activate the bomb in the middle. It was a 4v4 respawn game mode. I'm struggling to remember the name of it, but whatever. It
sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It's like you go into the middle of the map, you activate a bomb, and then the defending team has to defend their bomb, and you have to cap the bomb. Whatever that game mode was called, it was like a 70 kill game with servers. But that
right.
it does get love, I
Our
hope it's
next
explosive payload.
question when we're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
This one I think you guys might actually like. Should Bungie continue bringing back content from D1, or should they just make content for D2 and stop focusing on D1? Well, we do know that they are reprising Wrath of the Machine next year. We know that's coming. So, other than that raid, should they bring anything else back from
There's
D1?
one thing. There's one other than one other thing. Nothing else. Give me back Prison of Elders. Other than that, maybe not Prison of Elders because we have Dares of Eternity, because like Dares of Eternity kind of fills that slot. If you take out Dares of Eternity, put Prison of Elders in its place. But otherwise, no, like after Wrath, we can be done with D1. Like what we need to do is start re-importing stuff from D2 back into D1 and just shove it in the Legends tab. That's what we need to do, is like put the old stuff in the new engine, give us master versions of Red War, master versions of Curse of Osiris, etc., and run that stuff as a mission-based structure and have it be harder content for veterans and newer players who didn't get to do that content. Like that's what I want to see. In terms of newer content, like after Wrath, put D1 up, focus on older D2 stuff, and bring out new D2 stuff, because the future is what people are interested in. But after you bring back Wrath, there's no point in touching D1 anymore because there's nothing else from D1 that matters. Like Crota's already in Dares of Eternity.
I want to put a little asterisk there.
What?
I would like the Brothers Strike to come back. I've already talked about this in previous episodes.
Yeah,
but that strike was perfection, and I would like to play it again as a Grandmaster. Because that Grandmaster
with Solar Burn
was
the hardest shit to do in D1.
If you think Light Blade is terrible, you're in for a rude awakening.
Because
you're in that boss room, you got 2 Cabal, and one of them has a fucking artillery strike attack, and the other one just flies around and punches the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It gets even worse because now everything in that room also does solar damage. Mind you, it's also solar burn for the fucking Nightfall. And then you have one brother chasing you while the other brother is hitting you with solar rockets. They're both fucking bullet sponges. The second you kill one, the other gets pissed off and either chases you at double the speed or sits in a corner and launches missiles into the sky that will track you.
Oh god.
Position. You can't shoot these missiles. Your only chance is to run away from them. You have a time to finish this Nightfall before you get auto wiped back to the screen.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think Bungie should, when they bring a raid back, bring a strike back from that dungeon as well. I think that would give us a new strike. People would like that. I mean, they brought the Disgraced, Fallen Saber back. There are strikes you can bring back, and I think bringing in a Siva strike and bringing in, because they can't bring in, they already have the Devil's Lair in, so they can't re-bring in the one where they're like, hey, it's Sepix, but
give us Siva Sepix, but like make it like rotate out the version of it, or like make both accessible, or have them be on a rotation, because that would be exciting and a different dynamic.
Hang on, I'm gonna look up
because Siva Sepix was scary. But honestly, once they finish with Wrath, I don't want to see nothing else from D1. I want all D2 shit and future D2 shit. That's all I want. Like that's where I'm Gucci at. Red, is there anything else like from D1 you want to see?
Well, not only do I want to see them bring all of it back, and also bring, like you said, bring all of our D2 shit back into D2. They've said they were going to do it. Like they said this, I think it was two-ish years ago, right after they had like 6 months worth of backlash for the second round of sunsetting. This is right after we had our Saint 14 weapons for all of 3 months before they got sunsetted. This is after that happened. There was this major twab that came out of saying that they regret sunsetting, that they're going to work towards bringing everything from D1 and D2 into D2. And it wasn't until the most recent like the showcase where they said that they were sunsetting Sunset. Now you have both of those in mind. They're bringing everything from both games back into this game, and they're no longer sunsetting shit. I feel like every single season we're going to see a half and half split, reprise content and new content, and that's not going to change until probably well after the final shape. I think they're going to bring everything back. I want them to bring everything back because they view sunsetting as a mistake. So I can't really be mad at them bringing stuff back because that's fixing that mistake. And I just want them to bring them back in a meaningful way like they did last season. Like the way they did with the Leviathan and bringing all the menagerie shit back, that I felt was the perfect way to bring back reprised content.
My black armor shit back. I swear to God.
Please, for the love of God, give me my hammerhead. I missed it.
Like, don't get me wrong. My Smiter Marine is filling the void of my blast furnace, but I would very much like my blast furnace back, please. My blast furnace was my child. Like, I've never met a gun. I've never met a gun so powerful. Like granted, Smite of the Marine, now that it's been buffed, is doing what I wanted from what I love about blast furnace, where you can have half PvE, half PvP. But like, blast furnace was the dream, dog. You could put that thing in PvP, you could put that thing in PvE, you could run that motherfucker again, man. It would do the job all day, every day. That was the perfect workhorse weapon till the day I die. All I needed was blast furnace, xenophage, and my secondary could swap to whatever I wanted. Like, it did not matter. So like, give me my freaking black armory stuff back.
Like, and it would give it a reason for Awww to be relevant in the story for a little bit.
Instead of just being the freaking clothing designer lady. Just, what I even found out recently was there's new lights who don't understand, they don't understand the transmog system because Bungie doesn't explain the transmog system. So Awww has less of a thing to do.
All right, last question I got. This one is another Destiny 1 question.
Oh God.
Is there any armor you want back from Destiny 1? And I think I know the consensus answer from everybody in this chat.
Trials armor, but also every wolf themed irons, I like Rise of Iron set. Like all the Rise of Iron armor was amazing. Like
I was going to say the
all of the moments of triumph armor.
The moments of triumph armor.
That'd be kind of cool. Like make the master versions of all the raids give you the moments of triumph armor. That'd be kind of cool.
That or the other one I was thinking of is the Taken shader.
Yeah, the Taken Neververse armor. Hell yes.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. I just want all the Rise of Iron armor back because the Rise of Iron armor was amazing. That's just my 2 cents. But that was this has been a dope episode, y'all. Red, since you were the guest, what is your closing statement for these good folks?
Let's see. So for all y'all who are coming into this game without anyone thinking it's going to be your main game, and you choose to remain a free-to-play player, I feel for you, and I want you to know that there is ways you can compete through your free-to-play experience with the pay-to-play players. You are going to miss shit that we get. Yes, that sucks. No, you are not unable to compete in this game. So don't let the excuse of this person has X gun, that's why you lost, creep into your brain. You getting better and you will smoke anyone and everyone. The stuff that you have available in just Vault of Glass alone, you are able to compete with anyone at all ranges. Now you have stuff from King's Fall that you can compete with pretty much anyone at all ranges. There's free-to-play stuff that is infinitely more difficult to grind. When you get it, you will smoke people the second you get better. Don't let the pay-to-play experience shun you from enjoying this game. You have a place in it too. You can compete. Fuck all the noise.
That was really respectful. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I dug that. That was really cool. Toll, what's your closing statement, sir?
Actually, this is a question for Red.
Okay, go for it.
For your cartoon characters as Guardian series, could you do one for Ben 10 Alien Force?
Oh,
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm a man.
No,
that show.
I did that in the white space that we had towards the end of the season last season. There were a bunch of different ones that I didn't get to because we were going into the new season. And like when I made that, it was with the purpose of we have like this 2 to 3 week void to fill between this season and next season because all the content's pretty much played. What do I make? And then I started making that shit, and everyone loved it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. But
really
Ben 10,
series.
I'll do one. Ben 10 will be the first one that I release when I do Fireteam as it, and I'll.
Awesome.
But yeah, there's tons of them that I still have in the bag for it. That
that sounds
I've
cool.
made.
All right, dope.
Yeah, like cartoons reimagined as Destiny Fireteams, and Ben 10 will be the first one. There's a ton of them that I have. I'll just still make.
Okay. Hell yeah. Well, Toll, is that how you want to end the episode, or do you have an actual closing statement?
That's how I want to end it. That's it.
All right. My closing statement will be: this game is for everybody. Our existence is not political, and if you don't like it, the game ain't for you, dog. Or just like the world's changing and you need to adapt to it. Sorry to tell you. But we will. Don't forget, folks, that you listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music and Audible, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever you can listen to the show, you can listen to us. So make sure that you know that. I even had someone joke, like, can we listen to the show on our Ghost? Yes, you can. So just like
surprisingly enough, I figured that out.
Yeah.
I was going in the I was beating Oryx and I was like, hey Bruce, do you think I get Cosmodrome Radio on our Ghost? And they were like, I don't know, let's find out. We tried and it worked.
Yeah, so like it can be done. So definitely tune into the show and follow us on Twitter, y'all. Like we're trying to grow the Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Cosmodrome Radio. Interact with us. Like I know Twitter's a cesspit, but like holla at us. But we will catch you folks next time, and we will see you Starside. Peace out.
See you later, alligator.